Well, I guess I'll be buying my ship now. Maybe. Yes! Yes! Meine Schiffe! I don't know if I need a fucking 120k ship, but I probably don't, so it'll be much slower, blah blah blah. Who the fuck cares? I want more ship.
You and the captain.
Spend blood and sweat. To get this money.
Business comes and goes.
I got the. Oh, bullshit. I got the fucking discount. Whoops. Wait a second. Oh yeah. Okay. What the hell? No, there we go. Boatswain. I don't know what a boatswain is, but okay. Ah, nice, nice. Okay, that should hold for now.
Business comes.
Oh, that's all. Wait, needle. No, I don't. Okay then. Let's check the ship.
You crack the spine of the old book, revealing blackened pages of dense, illegible text. The words recede suddenly. The page widens to eclipse the world around you. A dark void stretches out on all sides. The air full of choke. Something stirs. An old woman steps forward, leering down at you from on high.
I'm so glad that my messenger tracked you down. These days it's impossible to find good help.
Woedica.
Watcher, before you draw your weapon, know that these proceedings are under a banner of peace. If this was a trap, while Bareth whispers in one ear and Aether shouts in the other, I thought you could use a more seasoned perspective to drown out the noise. Insolence will not help you here, Chuck. Don't you find it unusual how open and accessible my siblings have made themselves? After millennia of subdued whispers. Now, and isn't it strange how we never bicker unless a mortal is watching? By necessity, in fact. But that's hardly what... If we still possessed our glorious titans, my siblings and I would have put an end to Aethys and his rampage by now. While we are powerless to stop him, some of my kin wish to observe how mortals respond to this threat. Have we raised you well enough to be self-sufficient? Or must we return to Eora and impose some corrective measures? What indeed? That would depend on... A cross-section of society has converged on the Deadfire. Some of my kin are of an opinion that we are meant to judge mortal, while the rest of us have already made up our minds on the matter. Judge for yourself. But I think you'll find my intention. When we ascended to godhood, we did so to provide for a savage people.
Oh.
Our goal was to craft a society whose value, perhaps even a society that had no need of us. A naive fallacy, but one that inspired my optimistic, misguided kin. How you and your allies counter this threat will demonstrate whether you are competent enough to guide your own destinies. Or if we need to, the soft-hearted among us are counting on you to win this existential wager. No doubt, Aethys shares theirs, so now you know the truth. I assume you have questions. The wheel is our shared responsibility, and each of us serves it in our own fashion. Aethys keeps the wheel in motion. He was our promise to mortals that time and labor would yield a deserving reward on the next turning of the cycle. At the height of our power, we recognized the potential of the soul. We knew that it could be bound, split apart, diverted like a river. Those of us who agreed with the Apotheosis Project, and many who did not, submitted to a violent and horrible. After the dust settled, we adopted the forms of beings from Eora's most prevalent myths. There were other faiths and legends, but we labored to strengthen. Much of reincarnation's mechanism exists in the idea space of the beyond. You wouldn't find a wall of cogs and levers unless we conjured one to illustrate a point. The wheel has but one material component in all of Eora. Something we built to channel essence. Before we intervened, the flow of essence was directionless, unpredictable. We succeeded in widening the gap, diverting it. Before we took control of the wheel, reincarnation was error-prone, lacking forward momentum. Hollowborn were fairly common, and hardly the worst of the soul. Control gave us the power to strengthen the souls of intelligent kith over generations. We made you wiser, stronger. Every turning of the cycle demonstrated the righteousness of my belief. Nature begets chaos. And speak, watch. Whether knowingly or unintentionally, you seem to find yourself on the vanguard of change. Mortals like you come but once in a lifetime. Some would react poorly if I stripped mortals of their freedom without giving them a chance to plead their case. You have the honor of standing tall. Before I return to Eora and assume my position as your deserving tyrant, you have this opportunity to prove me wrong. To demonstrate whether or not mortals are responsible enough to claim their future. You speak as if you mortals have precious little time to decide for themselves. Will they stand together as one, or swallow? I have every confidence that you would disappoint us. Once my position is upheld, the undecided among the gods will embrace my plan. Prove it or disprove it, yes. I never agreed to this arrangement. But if your example demonstrates mortal ineptitude, as an assertive minority of gods believe that your choices will prove the value of their wild optimism, then there are those of us who know better. Kith are vulnerable, unless they submit to the destiny we chart for them. Thinking otherwise can only breed dissent and chaos. Nothing you've done has tarnished it utterly beyond repair. You may congratulate yourself on that much, at least. Yes, I think we will. This is not the end of our discussion.
Woedica nods stiffly. You feel her presence drift as a
Now that is a Let's see this menagerie. Ménage 3.
I join crew. Who worthless now, Arkamir?
Oh, there they are.
Captain. Or should I call you the Watcher of Cadnua? I confess that title. Something of a mouthful. Captain it is. When you took me aboard, you neglected to mention that you were in pursuit of a rampaging deity.
Oops.
The Blue Colossus may be one of the defining events of... I count myself fortunate to bear... Speaking of...
I would not have guessed I would find myself back with the Watcher of Cadnua. Much less at the order of Akanta. I know that you did not intend for misfortune to befall me. And I appreciate what you... Perhaps this time we'll go back. You only have to ask. Quay. Menea was a good companion and a skilled warrior. But it appears to have gotten the better of you as well. Where I am assigned is of no concern to me. But I do think the Deadfire... If the Dukes need me here, I am glad to serve them. After we parted ways, I returned. I failed to complete my mission and had no excuses. The Republics had lost a golden opportunity to trade with... They exiled me from the Brotherhood, scoured the suns from my breastplate, put me on a ship to raid Ceres. I worked as a guard. Caravans, ships, wealthy merchants. The years have taken me from the Eastern Reach to the Deadfire. Some would say it is fate that has brought us together again, Watcher. It is just luck. Time will tell if it is good or ill. Whatever they are up to cannot be good for... At their best, the gods are powerful children. At worst, they are little more than mad beasts taking out their anger. I have little interest in distinguishing which type Eartha sees. Good. I have no concerns. What?
Ado, Cap. Do you require my expertise? My study. I cannot promise a dissertation, but I'll happily discourse. You haven't read my work. As an apprentice, I focused on... And then, at the time, it seemed more difficult than I thought it should be. Some of my colleagues had a vested interest in a model of that some kith made more worthy receptacles for souls than others, based on the shape of their brow or the length of their... Afterwards, my interest turned to the theoretical, before shifting a few decades later to the study of parapsychological inertia. The tendency for some souls to gravitate towards familiar locales or engage in behaviors exhibited. From there, I moved on to work in metamortality, the scientific study of souls over lifetimes, and which brings us to the present. You set the sled before the dog. Before making decisions regarding what should be done, we must first understand what is. Anything else is a dream in the dark. The truth. I'm sorry that I have no simple embarking on inquiry with an agenda. That is how... Not at all. But I admit them. I could theorize, but... Given how little I've... It must require incredible energy, though. Staggering amounts. And can Audra truly be so flexible? Whatever he is, however he accomplishes it. Perhaps if the discovering doesn't kill us. That depends on who you are. Generally, Audra conducts soul energy. Is it simply a worse conductor getting clogged by essence? Or is this indicative of a specialized... Unfortunately, greed stymies inquiry. Rawatai and the Republics grind every ounce... Of course.
I shall make it so.
Why can I not talk with her? May I have my quarters?
Permission to speak freely? I should come clean about something, Captain.
Is this really between me, Maya?
Atsura didn't set me loose just so I could stay busy. Fact of the matter, I've got this stack of missives I need to deliver. Noble errand, right? The company has a lot of people working away from headquarters, and Atsura trusted me to get these in the right hands. I hope that is appreciated, Captain. You'd be doing Atsura and the company a big favor. This one's bound for Harama, an acquaintance, good sailor. And these are for Tuaha, an old friend stationed in Port Maje. You meet some strange types in the Navy. I've got some answers. Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Kana seemed to think that we could do more harm than good by interfering. Ranganui did not take that well. Now, you clearly had some sway on his opinions, more than I ever did. Wish you had told Kana to give up on the poetry. He's got no ear for it. You kept him alive in any case. Well, he wandered the lands and I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there. Well, my parents came from... After they emigrated to Rawatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achieved... So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction and talk. Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. Kana thought it was hilarious. No, I don't. Can't speak for all the tribe. Growing up in the Ranganui shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you. I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was as a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the war. Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Uh-oh. That's his "I'm hungry and you're wasting my time" face. Better step back, Captain. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant? My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't worry. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice. Better that you hear it from me than someone else, right? The company isn't in the business of reassigning officers outside of the mission unless they've got a damn good... And you are a damn good reason. Take the compliment. This whole campaign is a risk-benefit analysis. The Navy knows you're a gamble. Rawatai is here to do some good work, since the Huana can't seem to do it themselves. Maybe just try and stay out of our way. Then I look forward to seeing how long it takes before you find yourself in someone's back pocket. Oh, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to... Ishi, come.
Cool. Cool.
Careful. I've seen him peck out eyes for... Before we get into deeper water, you've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made. Well, naturally. That's your... A crew can be like family. Like, let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it?
I'd kill her.
Sort it out as equals. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours. Ask me again when I'm wearing the big hat. That'll be a different... But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain.
Okay,